And we are live. Now it says live in 2 minutes.
Okay, it takes time to boot up.
Okay, we're good to go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Breezes. This is the 8 p.m. live stream as usual, Wednesday evening. So if you are joining, just let us know where you're joining from and leave a comment in the comment section. The topic today is about the cost of living in the Philippines and the opportunities that you can find around here in the Philippines and Southeast Asia as a whole. We are being joined by Uncle Ned. Uncle Ned, welcome on board.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Right. So I just want to give a shout out to a few people before we go to the main topic. I want to shout out to Lawrence and his beautiful girlfriend. And thank you for today's lunch. That was amazing. It's always amazing having a session with you guys because you always educate me on a lot. You know, with the experience you guys have, you are giving, you're impacting a lot. And I'm going to pass that knowledge on to this using this platform so that other people can learn and get, experience is what you cannot get from school. In school, you get knowledge, but you don't get experience. It's something that you must gain with age, with traveling around the world, with your job. I mean, it takes time to build up that kind of experience, and you guys are just giving it over to me like that. I really, really appreciate. Shout out to Uncle Ned and Auntie Molly. You guys were part of the team today, and it is always amazing because Uncle Ned is the brain behind this channel. If you guys know why I'm going up to 2,400 subscribers, shout out to 2,400 subscribers today. We are doing it big time. I mean, last month we were just 1,600, and right now we are 2,400 subscribers. Thank you. I really, really appreciate everybody. Shout out to Juju of Leyte. Juju of Leyte, that is his YouTube channel. Juju of Leyte, shout out to him. And Julia and Julian. So that's a couple. Thank you. I think he'll be joining us very soon. Shout out to him. Shout out to Derek, brother Derek. That's my younger brother. He usually comes on Monday for the Focus on Africa. Shout out to David. David Tala he joined us on Monday also for the Focus on Africa. Shout out to Alex. Alex, if you're watching, shout out to you, bro. And always thank you for supporting the channel. Shout out to everybody watching right now. Shout out to Bunny and your beautiful family. Shout out to you, bro. And shout out to Pastor John Pagliawan of Tanawan. Shout out to Pastor John Pagliawan of Tanawan Baptist Church. Shout out to Breezes channel, Breezes TV, Breezes Cafe. Shout out to everybody watching and thank you very much. Uncle Ned, how are you, sir?
Doing great, doing great. Weather is good. The rain is slacked up. I'm feeling good.
Right. So, on a summary, how much do you spend a day in the Philippines?
Well, I guess everybody's going to be different depending on where you're at in the Philippines and, what you really want to do. Some people, I've got friends that fly in from Seattle. They're retired military. And when they come over, they're coming over to do the tourist thing. So they're going to spend a lot more. I'm a guy that's already living here with a wife and daughter. So we're going to be mostly malls, coffee shops, restaurants. So we're going to spend a little bit less.
Right,
Depends on
right.
your activity. When my friends come in from Seattle with some of the retired guys, they're doing jet skis, um, rappelling, rock climbing, all kinds of
Mm,
crazy stuff, and flying all over from island to island. So they're spending quite a bit more. So it
Right.
depends on what you're going to be getting into.
That's right. That's right. And then, I don't know. Uh, you live in Tacloban. Do you think it's cheaper than Manila?
Oh, by far. When you go to Manila's a major city with international prices. There's bargains in Manila, but you've got to be savvy and pretty seasoned to know what's a tourist price and what's a local price. So there are a lot of places there you can get the same meal at two different restaurants, depending on what street it's in or what area it's in. The prices could be extremely different. So it takes a while to know that this is not a good price, even though it may be much lower than a Western price.
Yeah. I mean, you were just in Manila next last week, I think, for some errands that you had there. And how will you compare the cost of living in 2026 compared to the last time you were there? Are there any changes? Are the prices getting higher, or are there any regulations?
Well, the Philippines as a whole is getting more expensive every year. The
Hmm.
Philippines is not becoming a cheaper place to live. It is becoming a more and more expensive place to live in comparison to the other Asian countries. Now, I'm not comparing to the Western countries because Asia more or less is cheaper than living in the Western countries. And
Right.
depends on what Asian country you go into, what we call a good buy for the money or not. But for example, I can stay at a very nice hotel that might be a 4 or 5 star hotel
Hmm.
and be able to get it for quite a good price because I know that if you book, let's say for example, Expedia, and you book a hotel and flight combined, you're going
Right.
to get a steep discount on the room. But if you book
That's
them
right.
separately, you're going to get no discount. For example, I got I would think this was a 4 or 5 star hotel called the Parsons in Manila, and I got
Right.
the room for $15 a night. It's
Hmm.
normally $90. So
Uh,
that's because I take a lot of flights, and Expedia gives me points, and so they offer me hotels whenever I book a flight at a steep discount. Most people don't do this and they wind up having to either take a hotel that costs less or pay a higher fee for the room.
that's amazing. You know, uh, I just discovered that they don't have a standard price for different hotels here. I go to one hotel in Omok, and then they say it's 1,400, and then I was like, no, it's too expensive. And then I go to another. I walk out, and then the other person came in. Instead of giving her 1,400, they said, okay, 1,100. I mean, like, why don't you just have a standard price? What, why do you think there is this price fluctuation in the Philippines? I
Yeah.
mean, bargaining. Why is bargaining so allowed? Because I think a standard price will allow everybody to just understand and just pay. Not like, oh no, I can't pay this. Let me pay this.
No, most places in Asia don't have a standard price. The price is fluid. It's the taxis. You can have 3 different taxis out there and go into the same exact place and have 3 different prices because you have to know, for example, if you arrive in Manila, the
Hmm.
taxis are different colors. The white
Right.
taxi cabs are the normal local cab that you're going to see while in Manila. They have the lowest price of the cabs. But if you get a yellow taxi in Manila, you're going to pay the highest fees allowed to be charged legally in those
Right.
cabs. Okay.
Right.
And then you're going to have Maxim, Grab. Grab is kind of like the Uber or so over here, and they're going to
Right.
have a different set. I stay with the Uber and not Uber. I'm sorry, the Grab,
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to tell me up front what their cost is, and I can see choices on there. Do I want a 4-seater, a 6-seater? And I'll see the prices. I'll see what's peak time and off peak time, because those prices are different. So you got more control. When you get in the white taxi or the yellow taxi, you know when you get to the hotel or wherever you're going to what the price is going to be, and it might be much more than what you were expecting. So you
Right.
just learn these things as you travel the city.
Yeah, the first time I arrived at the airport, I bought a SIM card, a Globe SIM card, for about, I think I spent 2,500 pesos, and they said I have unlimited internet for a month. But when I called my friend, and he said, like, what? You should have paid not less than 200, not more than 200 pesos. So I was like, nah, that is not really good. Because when you have a standard price for something, it encourages a lot of people to, not, I don't know how to bargain. So sometimes if I go to the market and if you tell me that this is the price, I just pay because I know that that should be the standard price. What's the need for letting me bargain? So you have been here for a while. Tell me more about bargaining.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of things here. There are tourist prices. There's the price for people who speak English, and there's the price for the people who speak the local language or dialect. If you go to the market here, let's say you're in Tacloban or in Naval,
Right.
and you're asking for how much is it per kilo in their language, you're going to get a lower price, because the people already know that if you're speaking to them in their language, you've been here a while. You didn't just get
Hmm.
off the plane, okay?
Right.
But
Right.
if you're speaking English, oh no, you're coming from a Western country, you're a millionaire, you've got money in your pocket, your price is going to be higher, you
Mm.
know? So they're reading all of this, and it's just like in New York City. If you get into a taxi in New York and you say, "Hey, where is this hotel? Do you know how to get me there?" And they'll say, "Yeah," and they'll know already from the conversation you don't know where it is, how far it is. So
Mm.
they're going to say, "Get in," and they're going to give you the tour. They're going to let you see the Statue of Liberty, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge. They're going to ride
Right.
you all over. And where you were going to was just around the corner. And
Right.
so he's there to make some money. And you told him he can make all the money he wants because I don't know where I am.
Hmm. That's true. So
So
this 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 bargaining is not just in the Philippines, even in New York City.
yeah, all the big cities are like that. When I get to Manila, I go to some of the same places all the time. So I
Mm.
already have an idea of the cost. And so when I open the taxi door, I'll say, "Hey, take me to this place. How much?" He'll throw out a price. And then I'll
Right.
say, "I'll give you this much." And he either
Hmm.
says yes or no. If it's too low for him and he says no, okay, there's 20 cabs out there. I'll just keep
Hmm.
pitching it until one of them says, "Yeah, get in." Because some drivers are hungry and they want to just keep busy, and they'll take the normal price. Some drivers are just greedy and they're just looking for a sucker, and they're not going to take a price that's low because they know I'll just wait. and there's somebody that I can charge 3 times the rate, and he'll be happy with the price because it's lower than what he pays when he goes to a Western country, and they'll make some money.
Yeah, I was about to ask you. Let me just shout out to a Filipina live with an expert. Thank you for joining my live. Welcome, and hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow at Tanawan Breezes Cafe. I'll be going there with Uncle Ned. So this is Uncle Ned here, though he's not on camera, but you can hear his voice. Welcome, and how are you doing? I hope you and Jeff are doing very well. Thank you for joining my live. That's a, Fi- a Filipino live with an expert. That's the person, the people we are going to interview tomorrow on Connect.
At 11.
11. Yeah, we should be there 11:30. So we can have some coffee.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. So I'll pick you up at Maras Barras as usual.
Outstanding.
Right. So let's go back to you. I was just about to ask because you grew up in New York, and back in the days, we knew that New York was not all that you see. Those skyscrapers, trade, is it trade centers? We also knew about New Yorkers were tough, growing up like, how do I say, just like Manila, almost like Manila, where you have to survive. So tell me a little bit about life back then in New York and compared to what you see in the Philippines right now.
Well, I come from a military background, so growing up in New York, you know the city life and it's fast. But
Mm,
because of the military, I've been to Seoul, Korea, Tokyo, and Manila. Three
right.
major cities, and all of them are duplicates of New York in a way because
Mm,
lots of people, very fast, and you have a lot of good and bad people there. You've got
mhm,
people who are there in the big city to make money. It's expensive, there's a lot of opportunities, and they are looking to make money. And so you've got to have a New York mind. When I go to Seoul, Korea, I'm thinking like a New Yorker, even though I'm in Korea. And I know
mhm,
things move fast. When someone comes up to you in Korea or in the Philippines and they want to carry your bag from the taxi to the terminal, they're not doing it to be nice, and it's not
mhm.
free. They're expecting you to give them some money. They are hustling for some money, and you've got to understand that. You wouldn't let anyone in New York carry a bag because they may take the bag and run down the alley, and you never see them again. So
Yes.
you learn in the big city, always hold on to your baggage, always protect yourself, and always expect that whatever the person wants to do for you, talk to them first, negotiate a price. If you've got some heavy bags and you want some help with it, say,
Mhm,
sure, you can carry my bags, wait, but how much to do this?
mhm.
Get it all done before it all goes into action, because you don't want to negotiate at the end of it and the person said, I've already carried your heavy bags, and now this is all you want to give me is 50 pesos. I need 300 pesos, and now we
Right.
have a problem. Negotiate first. Like, I don't get in a taxi until I've already opened the door, spoken to the driver, and said, this is where I want to go, how much?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the driver would normally say, don't worry, just get in, get in. I said, no, how much? Pila,
Right.
you know,
Right.
ikura
Right.
desu ka? Depending on what country you're in, you have to know a few key words, how much in a few different languages, where, doko desu ka in Japan, you got to know a few phrases.
How do
And
you say how
then,
much in the Philippines?
huh?
In Tagalog. Do you know how
Now,
much?
now, if you're in Versailles, you can say pila. Pila is how
Pila.
much,
Okay.
but the problem with the Philippines is that every island, the word may be different. In
Mhm.
Japan, ikura desu ka is how much, and that's for
How do
anywhere
you
in
spell it?
Japan.
Come again. Come again.
I- Ikura desu ka, ikura
Ikode
desu
deska.
ka. Yeah,
Okay.
that's, but see, that's the beauty of Japan. There's one language. In the Philippines, you better know about 10 different dialects, or more, because Pasaya, Cebuana, uh, Tagalog, it just goes on and on. So it's very difficult for me in the Philippines because of the different dialects.
That's also the price you pay for having a good life in the Philippines. You have to learn multiple languages. So when I started learning Tagalog, they told me, "Oh, you live in Waray, you live in Leyte, so you should learn Waray." And then I started picking up some Waray. They say, "Oh, you need to know Visayas as well." Like, bro, my head is getting confused right now. So sometimes, so we went to Cebu. I greeted somebody, Maopai. I said, Maopai na, was it evening? I was morning. I said, Maopai na aga. And then he was just looking at me. And then my friend said, no, 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 you don't speak that language here. Here you have to speak Visayas because
Yeah.
they don't speak Waray. I was like, okay. But I understand because in Cameroon, we also have multiple languages, but dialects. Everybody will speak English and French, but we have multiple dialects. Like you move from this from Tacloban to Tanawan, you will get a new dialect. So I understand where it's coming from.
Yeah, it gets pretty difficult. Even my wife and daughter speak multiple languages. I see them sometimes going back saying, "Okay, which one do we deal with here?" Because I used to when I first got here, I thought
Hmm.
the language on the island that we went to in Naval and O'o, they speak Visaya there. But my wife and daughter grew up on Wadeye. But when we go to her mother's house, they have to switch over to Messiah because the people there
Right.
speak that. And so I'm lost to, okay, which area is Messiah? Which area is Wada? Which area is Tagalog? Yeah, that's too much for me at my age. I just talk to them in English. And if they don't understand that, I ask my wife or daughter to translate.
Right. Right. Nice. You know, speaking multiple languages is actually very good because sometimes I just switch. I switch from uh, English to Thai with my friends here because they used to live in Thailand. So when we have something private to say, we just switch to Thai. That's a language that nobody here can understand. And it actually works because sometimes if I'm not happy about something and I need to just let them know because I don't want the whole environment to understand that I'm not happy about this, I just speak Thai and they will understand. And then only the few of us that can understand the Thai language, can pick it up. So you should learn. Can you speak Visayas or can you speak Waray, Tagalog?
No, definitely not Tagalog. Um, Now, I spoke some of the Wada and Visaya when I was living on the island there because I was there 10 years. And we had a sorry store. And the kids
Mm,
would come there all the time, um, wanting to buy things. And, the wife is in the back cooking or doing something. My daughter was real small at the time. So I had to
right.
understand what they were asking and what they were doing and how to explain to them. Suklet, for example, is change. You know, they
Hmm.
would give me 20 pesos and they would ask for my suklet, my change, how much I get back, and then you would have to know the numbers. Now, the numbers here are in Spanish. Okay.
Mm.
So
Uh-huh.
most of the Filipinos, when they're talking money, they're talking Spanish. Now, so
Mhm.
there's a lot going on in the Philippines. You have to stay here a long time to kind of start getting a grip on the names of Spanish, their language. Parts is Spanish, part is Filipino. There's a lot of learning when you come to the Philippines. So it's not easy. And it's just a very, very diverse culture. And you got to be
Mm.
patient because most of the Filipinos here are never in a rush. This is
Mhm.
island time. And if you
Right.
go to any island in the world, even when you go to Hawaii or Guam, the people are in no rush to do anything. They are just chilling and enjoying the situation. And you got to understand that I come from New York, and everything is fast. A New York minute is 45 seconds.
Wow. Huh. You know, it's I don't know how you guys survive in the US with one language, because even in Cameroon we always switch. We always switch. And if you come to people will come to the house and they don't understand the dialect. What my grandmother is speaking, only people around will actually understand. So I think it's a plus to have multiple languages.
Yeah, but you see, Filipinos are very smart. And there's a lot of people around the world that are very smart because when you have multiple languages in your head, it's like you're using more than one processor. It seems like they're using dual and quad processors because things are going into their brain and coming out much faster. You'll see that, for example, Filipinos, wherever they travel to, they normally pick up the language very fast because their brain is already configured to deal with language. And so
Right.
I meet Filipinos in Italy, they speak Italian. Meet them in America, they speak English. We've got some
Yes.
Filipino friends that have been to Germany and they speak German. Filipinos don't rely on just one language. They just say, "Oh, I'm here. I got to pick that up," and they just do it. Very
And
easy.
when I was in Thailand, I thought that the whole of Philippines speak only Tagalog, because all of them were speaking the same language. Until when I got here, that I discovered that, oh, they have different languages as well. It seems like
Oh yeah.
everyone, yeah, everyone can speak Tagalog.
I don't think, from my experience here, I don't even think the majority of the country speaks Tagalog. I think they all are required to learn it, read and write it, and all.
Uh-huh.
But overall, the Mindanao area is not
Mhm.
Tagalog, and the Visayas is not Tagalog. Tagalog is mostly just up in the northern part near Manila. Even when you go north of Manila, they're not speaking Tagalog. Where Marcos is from, Angeles
Mhm.
City, they speak Papanguinho. Okay, there's a lot of different languages. Yeah, Papanguinho, because they're from the area called Papanga.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you'll
Right.
see that the majority of the people in the country, the first language is not Tagalog.
Mm, that's nice. Well, let's come back to the cost of living in Tacloban. In Tacloban, because we live in Tacloban, and I'm sure that there's so many people watching our live that are wondering where they want to move to live in the Philippines, if they're interested in moving to the Philippines. I think Tacloban may be one of the places to consider. What do you think about the cost of living in Tacloban?
Well, I think what people need to do that want to come to the Philippines is understand they put numbers on each area. Like a
Mm,
one means this area is probably going to be the probably most expensive but it's also going to be the closest to a Western style. So take something like BGC, uh, Bonifacio Global City. That's what
Right.
BGC is. Okay.
Hmm.
If you're
What's
going to
that
go there,
again? BGC.
Bonifacio Global City, BGC.
Okay.
That's what it actually stands for. Okay, but most people
Yeah.
just say BGC. you know,
Hmm.
you know? So if you go there, it's a what they call a bubble. It's a small
Hmm.
little city where the Westerners like because it depends on your pocket. Whatever you want to
Right.
eat is going to be there, whether it's steak, lobster, shrimp, whatever. If you can afford
Right.
it, you can find it there. But
That's true.
the problem is the area is so small. So if you stay up there 6 months to a year, you've seen all of BGC repeatedly. Now,
Hmm.
do you
Yeah.
get bored with that? Or do you go outside of that bubble? Now, when you go outside of that bubble, you're back into the real Philippines. Now, can you handle it? So,
So let me
uh,
stop you there. So
uh,
does it mean that if somebody move over to the Philippines, and it would be nice to stop by BGC for like a month or two, if you are just to have, you will meet a lot of foreigners, get a lot of ideas, or what do you advise?
well, first, before you come here, you should research why do you think you want to come to the Philippines? What exactly are you looking for? If you're
Hmm.
looking for um, to live on $500 a month or $700 a month, the Philippines is probably not the place for you.
Hmm.
Those days are long gone. I think to live like a foreigner, like a Westerner in the Philippines, you're going to need at least $1,000 to $1,500 per month. I knew
Hmm.
when I was living on the island in Bilaran, there were days where people used to make it on 1,000 a month. You can't anymore. I don't know anywhere unless
You
you
mean
go
a
into a
thousand
rural
pesos?
area. Huh?
You mean 1,000 pesos?
No, 1,500 US dollars per month. They used
Uh-huh.
to be able to make it on that. That's the minimum now, almost anywhere to make it because electricity, for example, in the Philippines is the highest in Asia. Okay. So
Right.
when you get a light bill here in the Philippines, if you had 100 megawatts, the rate that you're being charged is going to cost you more than 100 megawatts in another Asian country.
Hmm.
So you got to know these things. But I'm saying, from my sense of understanding the Western culture, what the guys are going to want over here, the style
Mm.
of living, the food, and going out, you need a minimum 1,500 to 2,000 a month to be happy.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot. You mean in the city of Tacloban?
Tacloban is. If you ever go by the XYZ Hotel,
Yes.
you would swear you're in Manhattan, New York, because the restaurant prices, the hotel prices, all of that are just like being in New York City. And that's in Tacloban.
So this question is, it always bothers me. Like the salary here is that low, but uh how comes prices are this high? How do you think the people, the locals, survive?
Well, the locals are not going into these hotels. They have homes and friends, so they don't care if the hotels are 5 million a month because they're not using them. And the locals are not eating at a lot of these places that we eat at. The locals may go to Jollibee once a week or once or twice a month, where some of the foreigners are eating out every day. The locals are definitely not eating out every day. All right. The locals are not going to Japoy's every day or to the mall every day. And the
What's the
locals are
reason?
definitely not buying coffee in the mall at one, two, or 300 pesos a cup. The locals are buying coffee at 20 pesos or less per cup.
Okay. So anybody joining right now, thank you very much for joining, and please subscribe to the channel. This is Breezers TV, and we are talking on the cost of living in the Philippines. Welcome, Juju. Juju, welcome. How are you doing, bro? Juju, are you there?
I'm doing good. Ed, how you guys doing?
Outstanding. Good to hear from you.
Good to hear from you.
How was your day?
Another day at the office, prayer, gardening, and work. Same old, same old.
Printing the dollar as well.
Trying to, bro. Trying to.
That's it. That's it. We're talking about the cost of living here, and you've been here for 3 years, so I believe you will have a lot of advice for foreigners trying to come over here and trying to, live well on on their dollar. So, what's your take on this topic?
Um, I don't know if y'all touched on it already. I think we touched on this before in the past, but I mean, obviously, location, location, location. Um,
Mm,
I feel like here in Tacloban, if you're a foreigner, you're gonna want to have at least, I'm gonna say, 300 to maybe even 500 or $600 for rent. Now I was blessed. I only pay $130. Praise be to God. But that's a rare case. You're not always gonna find a house that's 8K a month. You know what I mean?
mm, mm,
So
Right.
I would say at least budget for about 350 to 600. So 300 for the house to 600 for the house. So we have 3 and 6. Wi-Fi, you're gonna run. That's gonna run you about $30, right? Maybe
mhm,
less, depending on which one you get. Um, Me, I'm good with two fans. I don't need aircon. In my old house, I used to have aircon, but
mm.
I only really ran it on the super super hot days. Um,
Right.
so if you a big baller, in my opinion, you want to drop 100, 120, $150 on your light bill every month. Well, shout out to you. Me, I pay a full $14, $13 a month. For my light bill.
Yeah. I'm with him. AC, I don't need. I don't use. I don't have. So fans are enough for me because I've gotten used to the humidity, the heat, the weather, and so I think Julian has too.
Yeah, and I feel
Mm,
like if it's at night, as long as it's not one of those summer days, if it's at night, it's generally cool here. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
need it
mm,
during the daytime. I mean, during the daytime when that sun is beaming down, you might want to turn on the AC a little bit to cool up your house if you have one.
mm,
Um, so yeah, that's like I got a buddy, Mr. Ray. Shout out to Mr. Ray over there in San Jose. He said he runs his AC all day long, and his light bill is like 6K. So per month. So that's like $110, $105, something like that.
That's a
Um,
uh,
big light bill here.
yeah, I ain't trying to pay that. I ain't got that type of loot. Um,
mm,
So what do you think a month you need?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say at least a grand, honestly. At least a grand a month.
Yep.
You can get by on less. Sometimes I have to get by on less, right? But I would say at minimum a grand a month should do you well. Like, I mean, me, I'm very basic. I'm not running around with women, stuff like that. I barely drink. I don't go out.
mhm,
So if
mm,
you're a party guy, maybe you probably need about 2 or 3 grand a month. But all in all, yeah, I would say 1 grand a month is enough to cover your expenses, and you can go to the mall, go to the movies, take your lady to the beach or something. So I would say,
mm.
yeah, at least a grand.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I'm single, so I don't need to spend that much. If I pay my house, pay my bills, and I eat, uh, it almost it's almost that amount because let's say You pay rents and everything takes up to $500, and then the food you consume also is about $500. Like you spend basically 1,000 a day because you have to eat morning, afternoon, and evening, and sometimes you do some extra, you know, extra gesture with friends. So 1,000, I think 1,000 will just give you that meet that mm, is it not
Basic.
maximum, like just that basic satisfaction. If you want maximum satisfaction in Tacloban, I think 2,000 will actually be good. 2,000.
Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, right. So welcome, Jojo. So we're just talking about life in Manila, but now I want to go to the opportunities that we have here. Are there any opportunities in the Philippines for people who wants to live abroad?
Heck no. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. We got a
So
gatekeep, Eddie. They about to come in here. They about to start coming in droves. So no, it's no opportunities here. Foreigners, stay away. Just go to all the rest of the islands, Cebu and Manila. Don't come to Tacloban, making it all expensive on us.
yeah, because when they come with the new dollars, the thing is the landlords are gonna increase the rents, and then we will have to pay high, you know. So okay, Uncle Ned is out. Uncle Ned is out. I was the last time I was in Singapore, and I tried to study the economy. I tried to study how Singapore survive, and I see that there's a lot of foreign investment. Do you know anything about foreign investment in the Philippines, bro? Any idea?
Honestly, bro. I mean, just me personally, I'm not seeing it yet, other than from the standpoint of just house and land. You get what I mean? To me, um, if you're into gardening like me, you know what I mean. You're into cooking like me, then yes, this is a great place to be because fresh ingredients, fresh vegetables, fresh meat, cheap. Everything is cheap compared to the states. It's expensive now, but it's still cheaper. But other than that, I would only think of like maybe agro-tourism. You know, setting up like how me and you when we went to Biliran, right, and we went to
Yes.
that cabin. I think that was a great investment, especially
Hmm.
Biliran has so many foreigners. So I thought that was pretty good. Other than that, I'm still trying to learn some investments myself here in the Philippines because it just seems like they're far and few nowadays.
Yeah. It's always said that foreign investment is always great to in every economy in every country. I don't know if you know of any policies that promote foreign investment here in the Philippines, because as an investor, if you're a foreign investor, you need to know the policies that are guiding your investments. You
Yeah.
have any idea?
Well, okay. For example, now if you're a high roller, of course, right? You know what I mean? Well established, whatever. Yeah, it's going to be easy. Because on Friday, excuse me, on Friday I'm going back to Manila with Julia to help out my friend or whatever, and we're staying in a place called Philinvest. Philinvest is basically like I don't know what to call it, a city in Manila, one of the mini cities in Manila, and like
Yes.
this area is all about like Filipinos reinvesting money into the Philippines. And
Mm-hmm.
I think you as a foreigner you can invest there, but like you have to invest through a Filipino company if I'm not mistaken. So
Mm-hmm.
this is one of like the up and coming cities in Manila. You know, of course they got bars and restaurants and everything you can look for in Manila and in a big city.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good opportunity, right? A business opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Would I try to take something like that? Not necessarily. I like small scale things, I can actually control and do with my hands.
Right,
I'm not
right.
like an administrator. You know what I mean? I'm just a just a simple man, a farmer. You know what I mean? That's all I am.
Mm,
Um, but from a standpoint of like, investing in the local economy, like here in Tacloban,
hmm.
Julie was telling me about this Sun Life. Have you ever heard of Sun Life?
Sun Life?
Yeah, it's like a mutual fund that they have here. I guess it's a national company. It's not just limited to Tacloban, but it's a
Uh-huh.
mutual fund. You put money in it and then they give you money back after time, right? Like any mutual fund.
Oh, okay.
So
Foreigners, like foreigners, when they are, for example, if I want to retire to any country, I want to look for where I can put in some of my money to be generating like monthly income, monthly profit on my money, like something interest on my money. So, do you know any of those kind of projects in the Philippines or being encouraged? I mean, the government, not the private. I love the government projects that you can secure your money.
yeah, I only know about farming. For example, I know about this. I guess he's from Britain. This British guy on YouTube. He has a farm, and he works like a regular Filipino, but he owns the farm. Like, he'll harvest his calamansi and things like that. I have to find his name, and then I'll put it in the chat box. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, he does, of course, the local, the vlogging, but he also is like literally a farmer. Like he owns some land, and I don't know if I would necessarily want to take that route, but I'm a little bit conservative. If a foreigner comes
Mm,
here, especially if you marry a Filipina, um, yes, you're going to get a little bit of flack for selling food, but I guess if you invest enough in the local economy, the community won't really be mad at you. You know what I mean? So
mhm,
you can come here and you can invest in, for example, jackfruit. They have this one particular jackfruit variety. It's known for its sweetness.
mm,
It's called the Everac jackfruit
mhm.
Lanka.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, you can buy a couple of those trees. You can put them on your land, and then you'll get jackfruit for 60 years.
Hmm.
Um, Another tree that I was interested in is it Angerwood or I can't agarwood.
Agawood.
Agarwood. Yeah, you know about
Agawood.
that?
Agawood is common in Africa now because they're using it for perfume.
Right, it's very fragrant, right?
The Chinese are hunting it down, I think, because it used to grow in the forest and then
Mm.
now it's gradually disappearing.
I found a guy who was selling seedlings for 100 pesos, but here's the thing: you got to buy 100,000 pesos worth. I'm like, dang. But think about
A
it. That's
hundred thousand pesos?
Yeah, but think about it. Once they mature, you're going to make ridiculous money. You get what I
That's
mean?
what
So
that's what Uncle Neds need to plant in that his land over there.
some agar wood.
Oh, bro, Agawood is a lot of money. Like
Yeah.
I know of Chinese companies that can buy every single Agawood that you have left in this world.
Yeah, I heard they made like 750,000 per tree. I mean pesos. So you're talking like 14,000 per tree. So if you got
Right.
100 of them, you already got um like ten million pesos worth. So 10
Hmm.
million times 50. So you got about 500,000 US dollars, 600,000 US dollars based off of your trees. So
Mm.
yeah, you can find them here for cheap, but the thing is, you're gonna have to get like a bundle of them. They're not just gonna sell you two agarwood trees unless you know somebody locally. But that's something you plant on your land, and then you just sit back and let it grow. Next thing you know, you harvest that. You're gonna be well off. You're not even gonna have to worry about working. You're just gonna be able to
But
relax.
how long does it take to grow Agawood?
Now that's also the thing because they can take between I think it was 7 to 15 years to mature. Let me see.
Oh,
Hold on. But hey, I
that's
mean,
a
I
long
can chill
time.
for 7 years, bro.
Yeah, you're young, bro. you have, you're young. You're 29.
Heck no, I'm about to be 32 years old.
Yeah, but 8 years before you clock 40, you don't have to work anything.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm chilling. I'm
Yeah, that's a
relaxed.
retirement plan. That's actually a retirement plan, and it's a natural retirement plan. You know, because that's something that is getting rare. It's getting very rare in the market. The Indians are hunting it. The Chinese are hunting the French are hunting. Like every perfume industry, not only the perfume industry, it's being used even in the medicinal for medicinal purposes. So that's a big business.
Oh, I was right. Yeah, 7 to 15 years to mature. And it says while trees can be inoculated to produce resin in 3 to 5 years, but why would you? I don't know if you want to tap the trees for the resin because that might affect the overall growth. So I wouldn't even mess with the resin. I would just, wait the period of time for them to fully mature. I don't know. Maybe you can get some resin from it, but it says trees reach suitable height for infection in roughly 5 to 7 years, though full maturity for high quality resin production is typically 10 to 15 years.
You
So,
know, I'm going to try and see if that will grow in my farm in Cameroon. Maybe I'll plant even like 20 and see.
but the big issue that everybody's having, I'm sure, well, of course, I don't even have to tell you, but
What's the-
just for the sake of the chat, right now, the cacao, right? The cacao
Yeah,
trees, the chocolate trees, cacao is at an all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. And that's because
yes.
the trees are getting infected because we're seeing so much rain nowadays. So, the
Okay.
farmers are trying to harvest the little bit they have and make a
Uh-huh.
profit, and then they have to sell it high because they have a
Yes,
small
the
supply
supply
and a
is
high
low.
demand. Yeah. So that's affecting everybody, like the rain and then the temperatures going from like, you know, um 70 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 and 90 and above. Like that's
Yeah,
affecting even my own garden.
the rainforest, the Amazon forest is going down.
Yeah, so people are trying to like scramble nowadays, right? Because it's like, man, these weather changes are affecting us. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um,
Shout out to everybody watching. If you're watching, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment on the comment section. We're talking about cost of living in the Philippines. What can you do as an opportunity? What opportunities do we have in the Philippines for foreigners or foreign expats coming over? Oh, thank you very much, Filipino Life with an Expert. Jojo,
Tina,
subscribe to
right?
a Filipino Life with an Expert. She's
Sure.
also a YouTuber living. She's here in Tacloban, so
Oh,
I'm
nice.
going to give her an interview tomorrow. So it will be live. Maybe tomorrow evening it will be on air. Uh, but I think she's based in Cebu. She's a YouTuber. You'll find her videos. She's with an expert, Jeff. Jeff is her friend. So
Sure.
please subscribe. Good evening, ma'am. How are you doing? I know your life is starting very soon your life is starting at 9, so I'll be joining your live. I'll be joining your live immediately when I'm done with this one. I have 5 minutes to go, and I'm just discussing with my brother here about all the opportunities that foreigners that want to live abroad can actually have in the Philippines. Like I always say, foreign investors or foreign money always boost the economy, and I think that is very true.
Hey Eddie, I'm gonna
Uh,
drop down. I got a class, but I'm gonna hop on with you in Filipino life, bro.
okay, I'm rounding up right now, and then I would just want to shout out to a few people and thank everybody for coming to my live, for joining my live. Shout out to Uncle Ned. Uncle Ned was my first guest, and he's been in the Philippines for more than 20 years. He's from New York City, ex-Marine. Shout out to Lawrence. Lawrence is also a friend living here in the Philippines. Lawrence and your girlfriend, shout out to you. Jojo just left the life, and Julian, they are married and living here in the Philippines. Shout out to Filipina Live with an Expert. Shout out to you and your lovely partner, Jeff. Shout out to all the people watching. And please, if you are not subscribed to the channel, just subscribe right now because we'll be bringing you amazing stories around the Philippines, Southeast Asia, and even Africa as a whole. Well, we will always have our live every evening, now every 8 p.m., Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's meet every 8 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and discuss about the social issues affecting us around Southeast Asia and Philippines. If you're joining from the US, I think 8 p.m. Manila time should be probably 8 a.m. New York time. If you're joining from Africa, I think the time difference is about 7 hours from here. So 8 p.m. here should be probably 1 p.m. in Africa, Cameroon or Nigeria or Ghana. I don't know about South Africa. If you're joining from London, it's the same time. 8 p.m. is certainly 1 p.m. London time. Australia should be 10, I think 10 p.m. already because Australia is ahead for 2 hours, 30 minutes. We are just rounding up with the live, and thank you very much for joining. It's always a pleasure having you guys in my life, and I know that together we are going to learn and share our experiences. It's all about uh, sharing our experiences. And for those who want to live in the Philippines, we have experts living in the Philippines, like a Filipino live with an expert. I am sure if you subscribe to her channel and comment on her comment section, she will always reply to you and give you some orientation on what you need to do if you want to move to the Philippines. That should be a point of contact to orientate you. You have Juju Life in Leyte. Juju Life in Leyte, that's another YouTuber. You can always subscribe to his channel. You have me, Breezers TV. I'll be glad to be your point of contact if you are moving to the Philippines and you want to ask any question. I have experience here in the Philippines, Thailand, Laos. I've been in Southeast Asia for over 15 years, so probably I can help you out at no cost. I don't ask for anything to give you any information, so you don't have to pay me. I will just tell you what I know, like share you my own knowledge about the Southeast Asia. If you are looking to get a partner, I will advise you come over to the Philippines, spend some time, meet the locals. You will meet somebody that you certainly like. And of course, you will certainly love the person because I know Filipinas, they have got such a good heart. To tell you the truth, the most beautiful women in the Philippines should be from Leyte because I live in Leyte and I know for a fact that the most beautiful women are from Leyte. Alang Alang, it should be number one. I think Alang Alang has the most beautiful girl. By the way, I'm single, so I don't have any woman in my life right now. But I'm just observing. I observe, I look, and I see that the most beautiful should be from here. But if you're watching from Manila, Cebu, anywhere in the Philippines, don't be offended. You know, I say the most beautiful. It doesn't mean you are not beautiful. You are all beautiful. You are all beautiful. You have beautiful hearts, beautiful souls, and I really appreciate the Filipinos for being uh, the way they are. I want to share a story here before I end. So the other day I went to Tacloban, Maras Barras, and I had my wallet was in my pocket. I came out from my car and then it fell down. I had about, was it 5,000 to 6,000 pesos in my wallet. And then somebody actually called me. It was a young person, called me from behind, picked up my wallet and gave it to me. I was like, oh my God. You know, all the things you guys hear about be careful in the Philippines, I think that's bullshit. A lot of people, if you live in Manila, it's possible. It's possible just because it's too crowded. But if you live in Tacloban, where I live, I think you are safe. You know, this is not the first time. There was a time I went to the shop and I left my phone on the counter, iPhone 15 Pro Max. And then before I left, they called me and gave me back. So these are just the testimonies of me living here and why I love it here. The people are friendly, they are nice, they are kind, they are honest. You know, if they want to charge you an extra fee, is nothing, you know, because the services they will also give you will be amazing. So if you want to move to the Philippines and you want to live in Tacloban, the benefits you get in Tacloban is there is an airport. There's an airport here that flies to any major city in the Philippines, Tacloban Airport. There's a good hospital here. I mean, there are more than 4 hospitals that I know in this city. If you are sick and you live in Tacloban, you are okay. You are okay. Probably you just need to get your insurance straightened up so that you can, you know, get you a nice insurance cut when you go to the hospital. And there are 2 major Robinsons shopping malls. You have Robinson Maras Barras, you have Robinson North. So why will you not live in a city like this with 2 big shopping malls? Not only that, you have the safe malls, you have Metro, you have the Metro Mall, you have, man, you cannot name. I think this city has got it all. You will benefit, you will enjoy this city just like you are in Manila or BGC. Not to talk of the beaches. The beaches here are amazing. I didn't know, like the other day I went to a beach in Tanawan. It's called Hidden Resort, and it's actually hidden because I've been here for about 7 to 8 months and I didn't know about that place. And Tanawan is where my coffee shop is, and I didn't know that that hidden resort was there. And then when I got in there, I was like, wow, this is a new world. I think I have a live video of that place. You check back on my channel, I think on the 17th. If you check on my live videos, the video I did on the 17th, that's the hidden resort in Tanawan, is amazing. Tanawan is just 16 kilometers from Tacloban city, so it's not far. Tacloban city also have a lot of beaches that you can visit at any time. You have the MacArthur Park. If you are somebody that likes to exercise, you can always go to MacArthur Park and exercise, walk around, or even jog. Every barangay here has got a basketball court. So if you like to play basketball, you can join the local basketball teams here, and you go to the you join the, you know the time that they usually play. I think every evening they play basketball. So if you're living here and you want to exercise or you want to meet nice people, whatever you want to do in Tacloban, it's you will find it here. So you don't have to live in Manila if it's too expensive. You can live in Tacloban. I think this is a city that I love and I will campaign for it. For now, I remain Breezers. I'm going to sign out. Thank you very much for joining and thank you for your comments. Thank you, Filipina, Live with Lete, Jojo, Breezers, Net. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for everything. And I remain Breezers. Bye for now. Shout out.